All right, welcome to Podcast Heroes. We're on week 12 right now, episode 12. We're your host, Billy.
Bentley.
And Aaron.
Got some fun news today, as well as a few things to talk about. Bringing back a couple of our regular segments and watch us climb in map stats.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty excited. The first thing, though, let's talk about the news of the fact that Twitch said in the month of June, Heroes of the Storm rose from being in 18th place as the most watched game, 18th most watched game on Twitch, up to 12th.
I mean, that's amazing.
In a month.
So cool.
6 spots, and that's when the game was released. It was at the beginning of June.
That's basically beta and then launch. It grows, 6 spots.
Yeah, it grew with launch.
Yep.
So it's going to be really interesting to see, because I'm sure Minecraft, League of Legends, World of Warcraft are all above Heroes at the moment. It'll be interesting to see when World of Warcraft goes below Heroes of the Storm, because I think it will.
I mean, inevitably, I agree.
That or League of Legends, dude. I mean, that would be an interesting
Oh my god, that would be the battle of the century.
But I feel like that's far off because League of Legends has a pretty dedicated fan base right now.
And they're number one. And
Yeah.
they're solidly number one.
They have a lot of stubborn people like Billy, who it's going to take a lot of convincing to get them to try a new game.
It's worth it.
It was worth it.
I haven't played League of Legends since I started playing Heroes of the Storm, that's for sure.
Yeah,
So,
you're welcome.
I think I uninstalled it, actually.
yeah, I haven't gotten that far yet,
No.
but maybe one day.
He's not at that stage in his
I've
addiction.
invested way too much money in League of Legends just to quite click the uninstall button yet.
That's fine.
But, you know.
Maybe Overwatch, and then that'll do
Yeah,
it.
once
amount of
Overwatch
money
comes out, then screw
and
League of
unique
Legends.
skins makes me so sad.
Well, I mean, but I think about your policy, though, when it comes to video games. Whenever I think about how much money I've spent on League of Legends and other video games, you know, with DLC and all that kind of stuff, I always bring up Aaron's policy, and he has an amazing one here. It's, you have to play the game for 1 hour for every dollar you've spent on the game.
And the idea behind it is that I would happily spend $1 to be entertained for an hour.
Absolutely. I mean, you think about it, it's like going to a movie, it's like, what, $12 just for the ticket?
For
and
2 hours. That's $6
for 2
an
hours,
hour.
so that's $6 an hour. This is a sixth of that cost.
I've never heard of that, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And it's how I never lose a deal on a video game.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, that and Steam sales, yeah.
Steam sales,
And
exactly.
then there's those games like Adventure Capitalist, which are free games that I pour hundreds of hours into, and that's just all pro bono.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're ever out there feeling bad about spending money on a video game, you spent like $60 on it, put at least 60 hours in it and justify it.
Yeah.
Justify it like that. Because that's how I think about it, and that's what makes me feel better about myself when I think of the hundreds of dollars I've spent on other video games.
Yes.
We do have some...
You were saying earlier how you think that there'll come a point in time where all you'll play is Blizzard games.
Yeah, well, once Overwatch comes out, I was thinking about it, counting through my head. It's like,
you've got your shooter.
Yeah, you got my shooter, because that's the only thing Blizzard doesn't have right now that I play. You know, I play War Thunder, I play Call of Duty, I play Halo, all those kind of shooters. But once Blizzard provides me with a shooter to play,
yeah, it's all of it.
I don't know where I'll go. It's because I'm thinking about it. It's like, maybe I'll put World of Warcraft back on my computer. Maybe I'll try Hearthstone.
I can't even tell you the amount of hours I've poured into Hearthstone at my job.
Yeah, well, you're a bad employee, is why. No, so it's I'm excited for Blizzard to come out with this shooter, and it'll be fun to be able to just like pretty much have Blizzard only games on my computer outside of Civilization. I mean, you can't replace Civilization.
Yeah, but I mean, they do have StarCraft, dude.
They do have
and
StarCraft.
if you look up best RTS of like the 2000s, it's StarCraft 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they have another expansion coming out, so they're not slowing down that train at all.
No, absolutely not. We do have some sad news, though, when it comes to this. I think this is the saddest news we've ever broke.
Yeah.
Bentley, you were telling me about this earlier. Go ahead and break it down.
Yeah, so I was reading on these forums here, and there was some map hacking going on in some Heroes games, which is, I mean, that's pretty sad news, guys.
Absolutely.
Right?
So it was basically enabling people to see everything on the map all the time.
Yeah,
it removed the fog of war.
Basically, if people who played Dota 1 on Warcraft 3, they would know there was a lot of this stuff out there, and Blizzard couldn't really do anything about it, so it was kind of a leave the game kind of situation once you knew it was happening. But at least with Heroes of the Storm, it's always online. They've come out and said if you do this, you will get banned from Battle.net. So not just Heroes of the Storm, but you will be banned from Battle.net.
Battle.net, yeah, that's
so
huge.
that's a pretty big penalty. But some other interesting news is that a lot of people, I guess, got banned, and a lot of people had some feedback saying that they were falsely banned.
Right.
That's pretty interesting. Do you think do you think these guys are lying?
Well, my curiosity comes in like, how did Blizzard know these guys were hacking? Because
yeah, the thing is, they said you would, if you knew it, you would just basically email someone their like gamer tag, and they would be able to look at the match history and I guess like actually see the key bindings and stuff like that.
That's fair. And I mean, I guess if it's consistent through multiple games of them
Yes.
being able to break the fog of war, that'd be a good indication. Because I know there's some games where I'm on the ball and I'm able to, like, I know somebody's in there.
Yeah.
Let me throw down, a psionic storm or something like that and check it out.
I'm guessing it was situations where maybe a whole team was on curse and maybe like 2 people had it, but the 2
Right.
people were the most like probably assassins and maybe a warrior.
Or they were telling their teammates where everybody
Exactly.
was too.
And it was just like maybe like as soon as those gates opened, they were ganked.
Yeah.
Situation.
Because, I mean, I did see on Reddit, there was a front page post showing a Kael'thas video of this guy who was just clearly, like, able to see through the fog of war. Like,
Yeah.
It's like the first couple times you give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, he got lucky. Okay, he got lucky. But this was like a 5-minute long video of just separate clips throughout this game of this guy getting hit by this Kael'thas. It's like, okay, this is starting to turn into some, big bullshit. Because it wasn't even like he was hiding in bushes. He'd just be hiding around a corner, and Kael'thas would just nuke the corner.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It just grew unfair. Aaron, you looked like you were about to say something.
Well, it's interesting that people are doing this probably just to gain MMR.
Right.
And then my thoughts are, of course, people are going to say they didn't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to get caught map hacking and then be like, "Ah, you caught me.
You got me."
I'm banned."
And it's funny that you say that. There's a quote from Dustin Browder, and he says, "In the last 15 years of online gaming, I've never seen so many people claim innocence over bans."
And that's something interesting because, I mean, Dustin's huge in the online community.
Dude, he's been there since day one, dude.
He's been there since day one, not only of Heroes, but just of Blizzard in general.
Yes.
And, I mean, Blizzard's always had a strong online presence, either in StarCraft or World of Warcraft. So him being able to say that, because I know, like, World of Warcraft at least, I've even gotten accidentally banned for things. Luckily, it cleared up because Blizzard has the most amazing customer service of anything ever.
They do.
But, it's like, I know World of Warcraft can get hit pretty big. Never played StarCraft online too much, but I'm sure they had issues too.
Dude, they never tolerate any kind of cheating
Right.
in their games because they're always online. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the benefit of always being online. They can always check.
Yeah. And so, I mean, for Dustin to come out and say that's insane.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they allow people to have their accounts back in specific instances, or if they require people to completely restart. Because if you were caught map hacking and now suddenly you're, rank 2,
Again.
Like there's
yeah,
no penalty.
yeah, there may, probably you're actually rank 30 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they handle this situation. If they give some, accounts back to people that weren't actually hacking and they think they just maybe hit them wrong, or
Yeah.
I don't know. This is something to definitely keep track of, and
Yeah.
we'll keep you guys up to date on it as it goes because it's big news. So if you're out there hacking, stop it. We don't like you. The next thing I want to talk about is some esports news. The ESL Grand Prize for their next tournament. You were telling me it raised up from like $4,200 to
Yep.
$10,000.
Yes, sir.
Is that the overall prize pool, or is that the grand prize?
That is the pool. That is the pool that
Okay.
has been increased.
Wow. So that's a huge increase just for the pool alone.
Yeah.
It'll be an interesting tournament. When does it start here?
It does not give a date on here.
We should
but
do
it
it.
is the ESL Major Leagues.
Yeah, we should check it out. See what is
Yeah.
up there. Speaking of fun tournaments, though, and especially ones that you can get involved in, the July Open just
Yeah.
happened. The first half of it started this last weekend. It was essentially to determine who would be in the round of 32 this coming weekend, where they would broadcast it. They have a really interesting broadcast formula. I know Blizzard sanctions the tournament. And I think they set the schedule, but then what they do is they hand it out to various streamers, most of whom are town hall podcast Town Hall heroes, most of them come from there, and they let them stream the games on their own private channel. There's also Four Court Jester, and I'm trying to think if there was anyone else I saw that I hadn't seen before. Essentially they were told, it's like, okay, these are the teams you're going to follow through their games. If they win, you keep following them. If they lose, you don't worry about it. You go to your next list, and then they would start the games, and they would be the ones in charge of it. It was a best-of-3 format, so it's whoever won the 3, the 2 games would move on to the next round.
Interesting.
I think one of my favorite parts of it was, like, if you picked a team, or if your team was playing. So my team is Tempo Storm. I love those guys, mostly because of Zuna, because I was a huge fan of him when he was on Vulcan in League of Legends.
Okay.
And now it's really cool to see him, playing Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
So it's my team. It's like, if I pick them up in the middle of one of their games or something, the broadcasters followed them until they reached the round of 32. So it's like I would get to watch 5 games of them playing in a row, or 7 games of them playing in a row, whatever, wherever I came in on. And I really enjoyed that, because I could stick with the team. It's not like I had to come back later in the day to watch some of their games or anything like that. I stuck with them until they won and got into the round of 32, and they were done for the day.
Nice. So it's pretty easy to, like, stay with the favorite if you have a favorite team.
If you have a favorite team. Or you can just change the different channels if you want to, catch some different flavor, catch some different casting flavor, because, casting definitely can make or break you.
That's very true.
Wanting to watch a game.
Yeah.
And so that's something, it's like, I'm sure Blizzard's trying to, giving all these guys the opportunity to cast games, because they want to see how they cast them and bring them in, and culminating eventually into BlizzCon in November.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be able to have, some really good casters, because I've watched some bad casting games of Heroes of the Storm, and it almost turns me off, and I love this game.
Yeah, at some points it's just better to mute.
And
then I just watch the game
and just play some music in the background.
Yeah, dude, because the game is entertaining already.
Right.
So the casting just has to be amazing as well to not flop.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. The specifics in this the July Open, though, that I want to talk about, Tempo Storm, of course, made it to the round of 32. And the only other team I know that made it to the round of 32, because I wasn't able to watch all of it over the weekend, is Cognitive Gaming. And they astounded me. I was watching them play. They would astound me. I think I watched 4 games of them where not a single game went past at least the 15-minute mark. I think it was the 12-minute mark, but the 15-minute mark.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What?
At least one of their games was won in 9 minutes and 10 seconds.
Wow,
and
dude.
It blew my mind. It's like, these guys are on the ball. It's like, I believe, it's like Tempo Storm is easily the best team in America, and I believe they're ranked number 2 in the world right now. It's like, is this competition for them? Is this what we're going to see? It's like, is this a team that can come in and take care of, Tempo Storm, Cloud9 Maelstrom, Cloud9 Tempest? It's like all these big teams that we've been seeing.
Yeah.
Is this somebody who can come in and compete with them? And I mean, on one hand, I hope it is, because it'd be cool to, just see some fresh blood, some meta changing, all that kind of stuff. But on the other hand, it's like, well, I don't want my favorite team to lose,
Yeah, and then on the other hand, it's pretty awesome when there's a game that's just neck and neck and it goes to like 35 minutes.
Right.
And that's like a super long HOTS game there, and you're just like, when is this going to end? But it's going to end any second. Like the first person, like the first, whole team to die that's GG there.
Right. Well, and that's always enjoyable. I fully agree.
But that's crazy though. At the 9-minute mark, I couldn't imagine like having
even be an attack in the core.
Exactly. Exactly. Having all forts down, or like having that advantage over a team where they're all down, but all of our team could go to the other core.
It makes me want to know what their like team leader focus is. Like, what are they focusing on? Are they focusing, all right, get the tower, then get back, then get the tower, then get back? What's their like core strategy for the map that they're on?
And I honestly couldn't tell you, because I wasn't paying enough attention, and I really should have been. I won't lie, I wasn't that into it because it was such early rounds. It's like, okay, half of these teams are people that probably just threw their team together on registration day and registered their team. So it'll be really fun this weekend to watch, and I want to see how they compete against known quantities. And see how they do, because I mean, a 9-minute victory, that's insane. I can't even remember what map it was on. I want to say Cursed Hollow, but it was, it's one of those maps that's not quick anyways. So that's, it's like that was really interesting.
But I doubt we'll see another 9-minute victory.
Not in the round of 32 and up.
Yeah.
Those teams are at least good enough to.
Yeah.
Sure, maybe that'll happen once, but then never again.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Because these guys came in there, they rolled. It's like they didn't even give the other team a chance to prepare for the second game. It was crazy. It was crazy to watch them play. But I want to talk about some meta shifts too that I saw on this, and I want to get your guys' opinion on them. Most notably is the fact that Brightwing is not considered a top tier support anymore. The casters were saying it. The teams were obviously reflecting it. I only saw Brightwing picked a few times.
Wow.
I agree.
You agree? You're the big Brightwing player. Why do you think that is?
It was a really, really big nerf.
Was it a nerf or a balance?
It was a nerf.
Okay, you say nerf.
I mean,
I find her balanced now.
They knew she was overpowered.
Yeah.
I mean, she's more balanced than she was.
Yeah.
But she still got majorly nerfed. But it's really was more a shadow buff to Uther and Rhaegar, people who were already strong, but they were a little bit overshadowed by Brightwing.
Yeah.
Now they're shining more.
Well, and that was another thing I was going to bring up is the fact that the two traditional supports, because in my mind I kind of separate out Tassadar and Tyrande from being traditional supports. They're more of a damage dealer with a support kit.
Yep.
But out of the traditional supports, I found Uther and Rhaegar the most commonly picked ones. And I think that's just because of the healing they're able to put out, as well as the crowd control they can give, the burst situations they can provide. You being the big support player you are, Aaron, what do you think Uther and Rhaegar are the top two supports in the game right now?
They're definitely two of the best. I'm gonna break down Uther a little bit later during Hero League, or during Watch Us Climb, because I was playing Uther with Bentley this week, and we dominated.
Right.
And he has that spell Benediction. That severely reduces the cooldown of the spell that you cast next, and I think makes it free or severely reduced cost. And basically, you get two of one spell.
Yeah.
And choosing which one you want at that moment is like pivotal to the battle.
Yeah. So we put Rhaegar and Uther at the top two. I saw a lot of Tassadar and Tyrande pick too, but like I was saying, they were played more as like a bonus assassin. They were never played solo. They were always played with another support, usually a Malfurion or Uther and Rhaegar. And then they just took mostly damage type talents. Like I've copied some of those builds that I saw in Tyrande playing in games, and there was a game I was actually playing with Aaron where he was playing Vala, and for the first half of the game, him and I were trading for top spot and hero damage.
Yeah, dude.
Because after that 16-minute mark, once Vala gets stupid strong, that he ran away with it. But there was a little bit there that I was staying neck and neck.
I agree.
It's worth pointing out that Billy owes me $1.
I do owe you $1. I have one in my pocket here because I bet him I could beat him, and I didn't. But there have been games where I've beat assassins and hero damage. I was so proud of myself.
This is the sound of a crisp $1.
And then of course Tassadar has a lot of benefit to being played. We talked about like last week on certain maps he's super strong, especially if he takes Mule. But also I've been playing him a few times myself recently, and I just love the damage he can put out.
Dude.
Yeah, he doesn't replace a traditional mage like Kael'thas or Jaina, but
But he can though. Like if there's a lack of an assassin, I feel like Tassadar can actually step up, provide great utility, vision, slow, shield, and then along with his W, and then if you go that the double W, is that correct?
Yeah, I forget what it's called exactly, but it puts down two psionic storms.
He melts anyone who's on both of them.
Yeah. It's worth noting, Aaron didn't believe me. Those do not stack. You cannot put them in the same spot.
They don't.
And they won't deal double damage. Yeah.
I really thought they did.
So what I do is I put them right next to each other. So if somebody's trying to escape, they end up running through it anyways.
Exactly.
And it's like a prolonged thing. So.
And you don't have very long to cast it again.
No, you don't. You have to be on the ball.
Yeah, you got to boom, boom.
Yeah.
So you can't really hit him with it, wait, and then hit him with it again.
No.
Right.
Unless you're doing it pretty quickly.
You can't be like Zagara Hydralisk on him. You got to be really quick.
All. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's that was fun to watch. The tanks I saw a lot of were who am I trying to think of?
Stitches has been here a lot this week.
I've seen him in quick match or in a Hero League. I didn't see him played maybe once in the tournament, But
you're probably thinking of Muradin.
yeah, Muradin,
Or
Johanna,
Anubarak. Okay.
Anubarak. But the one that surprised me the most was Arthas. A lot of teams were using him as a solo tank.
You know, and I would agree. I don't see enough Arthas out there.
Yeah.
At all.
I think he's a little underrated.
He is.
I think a lot of people see him more as a bruiser than a tank, but if you play him properly with a good team to back him up, he can be a tank that deals out quite a bit of damage.
He's one who needs some balancing work, I feel. And I think they feel like that too, because back a couple patches ago, before his ult got nerfed, he was the strongest tank in the game.
Yes.
He could walk into a 5-person fight, kill a couple people, and come out with full health.
Well, and you're talking about the Raise the Dead or whatever, the Army of
Zombies,
Goals.
yeah.
Ult
Army
is.
of the Dead.
The ult to go with nowadays, though, is Syndragosa. That's the one you want to use because it's a good CC lockup, and it also disables buildings from being able to shoot at you. So you can tower dive. You can tower dive.
I did not know
while
that.
using that. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Specialist, there weren't any really specialists being picked. They were more niche picks, depending on the map, depending on the player. I think I saw every specialist played at least once, including Gazlo, which
I've seen a
surprised me.
weird amount
That's
of Gazlo
awesome.
this week.
Yeah.
A lot of Gazlo.
So, I'm wondering, maybe that's reflection. There's a pro player out there playing him. I'm not a big Gazlo fan. I'm not a big specialist fan in general. I think you can play the game perfectly fine without a specialist.
Oh,
but
dude.
that's just my opinion.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we can have fisticuffs over it later.
But wait, you didn't see any Sylvanas at all?
No, I saw some Sylvanas,
Okay.
but it wasn't consistent. It wasn't a lot.
Dude, I've seen a lot of Sylv since she's been released.
Really?
Like,
Same.
a lot. She has great utility, dude. And I mean, if she's ignored, she's a huge threat.
That's absolutely true. She can take down, she can push forts pretty quickly.
And her ult is really strong.
But it's still
the
kind of
Wailing
janky,
Arrow,
dude.
yeah.
And
It's an
now
interesting one.
possession is balanced.
Is it?
And I haven't tried it. Now I want to try it.
I haven't tried it, and the sad thing is I almost have no interest, though, dude.
Oh my god, I so want to try it.
All right, well, you get on that, you try it, and we'll talk about it next week.
All right.
There you
All
go.
right, and then, of course, the last group to talk about is the Assassins. That's the only group we haven't talked about yet. Zeratul was huge. He was either banned or picked in the first three, but the one that was always picked, always, either the first pick of either team, Jaina.
Wow.
Not once did I see her go, one, unpicked, or two, make it past 2 rounds of being
She's
picked.
strong.
She's incredibly strong. I'm saving up to buy her right now, and she's an assassin. I'm going to buy an assassin.
Is she a little pricey?
That's
10,000.
Oh, wow.
That's one of Colin's mains.
Yeah, it is, and Colin's absolutely fabulous at him.
But she's such a glass cannon, dude.
She is.
And was
that's
that
probably
reflected
why
on the
I'll-
games?
Well, no, because a lot of teams would be able to protect her.
Yeah.
That's why you
So-
need
That's
somebody
smart.
guarded and
Yeah,
protecting.
exactly.
Like Colin, who won't overextend. He'd rather just stay back.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm with you there. Like, she's just like Kael'thas, and Kael'thas was another one of the assassins that was picked quite a bit.
What about Vala?
Vala?
No?
Not quite so much.
Really? Oh,
I
wow.
saw a couple of games of Vala,
Dude.
but I think Vala is
Too balanced.
Yeah, well, there you go. I think she has issues against good tanks.
I agree.
Because a tank that takes imposing presence just screws Vala.
Yeah. She's
And
easy to counter, and everyone knows her abilities since she's been in the game since day one.
right. And I mean, it's like, you either take strafe, deal a lot of AoE damage, but falls subject to being stunned out of it,
Yeah.
or you take Rain of Vengeance, which is an incredibly small hitbox on it. All things
and
considered.
you're so vulnerable. I never take
Yeah.
that anymore.
And when I see people go for the 4 hits in it, I'm baffled because by the 4th hit you should really be out of it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, because there's like a good half second in between each run of the strafe, so
You'd have to be really stuck in there for
really
you to knock it out.
bad too. Yeah.
What about like Kerrigan?
Kerrigan, I know there's one player, and I think he's on Cognitive Gaming, that was a god on Kerrigan. Like, it was insane to watch him play. And they actually would pick Kerrigan over Jaina, given the opportunity, just for this guy. Often, though, Kerrigan was banned against him because, obvious reasons. So did see quite a bit of Kerrigan, despite the fact that she kind of took a bit of a hit with Envenom getting nerfed as well as
Yeah.
Blood for Blood.
And still no word of her changes at all.
Still no word of her changes.
Let's talk about that for a second. What do you guys think of the Blood for Blood changes? We've talked about the Envenom changes, but not the Blood for Blood.
I'm happy with it.
I miss how it used to be. I wish that there was something similar to slow them.
I don't. I'm happy with it. Most of the people who
Yeah.
can take it have some sort of crowd control anyways, so they don't really need a second form, and I think that's a lot of the reason that they got it.
Maybe it was balanced, dude.
It was balanced. See, Aaron has a hard time understanding the difference between a nerf and a balance, and we're still trying to break him into that. So
It is my belief that all heroes should be OP.
well, email us at niceguys@network@gmail.com and tell Aaron how much of an idiot he is for that belief, or just email us to agree with us and make us feel better about ourselves so we can make fun of Aaron.
Yeah.
Or email me and tell me that you are with me and that you believe that everyone should be OP.
The last thing I want to talk about though in the July Open is Illidan. I did not see nearly as much Illidan as I'm used to seeing. And I don't remember him getting nerfed at all.
He did.
He did? Okay. I know he had like, what was it, his E or whenever he shifts, that kind of got changed a little bit.
The main nerf that happened is he's no longer unhittable when he's jumping around.
Thank
Nice.
God.
You can hit him, and so he's taken damage that whole time now. And that was really what was making him so invincible.
It was, absolutely. The fact that he could just dive in, screw some people up, and then dive out.
They need to somehow balance him back up.
Yeah, exactly. Because now he's just he can't be used at all, dude. Because he's so squishy.
He is really squishy.
And early game, he does no damage, dude. Like at least Jaina can still pump out some good amount of damage.
Right.
But Illidan is just garbage. Like until he gets to like at least 10.
I can agree to that. I'm happy never seeing him again, but that's because I don't care about assassins.
Man,
whatever. It's like you guys are barely above specialists, so.
Billy has this like vendetta against specialists.
I really don't like specialists in this game. I don't think they're useful.
He tried playing Sylvanas this week
that
at
was
one
the most
point.
hilarious thing ever.
and it was going so badly that he was like, all right, well, I'm just going to never complete this quest. That way I'll never get this quest again.
I'm still not level 5 on her. I've played at least 5 games of Sylvanas, and I still haven't hit level 5. And it was a specialist quest. She was the only specialist available to me, and I just gave up on it. I was like, whatever. I'll just wait till next free week.
So email us at niceguysnetwork@gmail.com and let Billy know what specialist he should play.
And the answer is none of them.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Speaking of free week, though, let's talk about the free week heroes this week.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll riddle them off for you. We got Sergeant Hammer, Rhaegar, Lily, Diablo, ETC, Tychus, and Kael'thas.
All right, I'm going to jump in real quick. If you guys are going to make me play Sergeant Hammer to complete that quest, I will unfriend you, because she is the worst specialist in the game.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that.
So let's hear your picks for the week. What is your dream team of 5, Aaron?
All right, it'll make you happy.
No Sergeant Hammer?
No Sergeant Hammer.
All right, good. I'm
double
happy already.
tank.
Oh, you beautiful
Diablo
man.
and ETC.
Okay.
Rhaegar, Tychus, and Kael'thas.
All right.
Because I feel with the ETC and Diablo, you're going to be able to let Tychus just sit there and wail on them for so long that they're just going to die.
All right. What about you?
You know what? I would basically have to say exactly what Aaron said, because Lily honestly can't do that much if you already have a lot of people to heal. She can't heal that. She's not that much. She's bad, dude.
Whoa.
I mean,
Lily is not bad.
Okay, she's balanced.
Lily's balanced.
But if you already have Rhaegar, dude, you just
don't need
exactly.
Lily.
You just have that double tank, just in front of everyone, taking all the damage, and there's damage being dealt to them.
I'm agreeing with Bentley here. My team would be Diablo, Tychus, Rhaegar, KT, and then you tell your 5th person to pick up Raynor because he's given to you for free. The other 2 champions here suck. Sergeant Hammer is mediocre at the highest level of play, and Lily is about the same.
We should talk about Sergeant Hammer with the Butcher being added and his, what's it called, Unstoppable Charge.
Yeah.
Sergeant Hammer is powerless.
I agree.
It doesn't matter how fast you zoom away. You're going to get hit.
At
You're gonna
all.
die.
It's irrelevant.
Yeah. No, this free week is probably my least favorite free week because there is not a 5th champion I would
And
pick
because there is no Abathur.
And because there's no Abathur. At December 16th, we're at 7 months pretty
Next
much now?
December 16th,
Yeah.
Abathur will be released.
Looking
We're
for-
starting the letter writing petition now.
Right.
Or the
we're-
countdown, yeah.
We're 2 letters strong.
Man, I'm telling you what, I really want to see Abathur, but I don't know. I mean, Diablo, you guys know my love for Diablo. I still haven't played him much since the nerfs, but I played him once over the weekend, and I feel like I did pretty good on him, despite the changes. And I had a lot of fun playing him. Tychus is a brilliant assassin. If played properly, he is easily countered. But I also feel like he's one of those guys that's kind of a niche pick against the people who are typically good. Assassins are typically good. I'm thinking specifically Illidan and Kerrigan. I find Tychus to be incredibly great against those two.
Yeah.
And if you're able to screw those two up, well then, bada bing, bada boom.
Well, plus, especially now with the Butcher.
Yeah.
Tychus, he can kind of counter him, but the Butcher still has some utility. But with the right Tychus, you could take down the Butcher.
You can get out of it. I mean, you have the frag grenade to bounce him off of you once he gets on you, and then you have the run-in gun to get even further away from him. And that's his advantage against those melee assassins.
Yep.
And then who is the other person? KT. I mean, Kael'thas is one of the best characters in the game right now. There's no denying that.
He's basically the guy Glass Cannon, because he's pretty squishy.
He's the flame version of Jaina.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you could drop KT and pick up Nova because you're awesome.
Well,
dude.
Nova's not on free week, Aaron. This is about free week, except for Raynor, because Raynor's always free.
Too many people would realize how strong she is.
That's true,
dude. She's amazing.
The only reason I don't pick ETC into this comp is because when I think of a 2-tank comp, I want tanks that complement each other, and Diablo and ETC do not. It's like, I mean, I'm looking at, like, you want to pick a Tyrell with a Johanna, you want to pick a Muradin with a Stitches, and that kind of thing. You want to have at least a little bit of synergy there.
I wouldn't say that
ETC
they're
and Diablo do not
non-synergistic. They definitely have some synergy. You can throw them into a then power slide through them and throw them back even farther.
Or even their alts, dude. You can get that.
There's some synergy. Oh yeah,
the stun, the stun, and then the fire.
There's some synergy there.
I just neither of them do enough damage.
They're a better higher
to
damage
justify
picks.
it. Yeah, absolutely. And that's when you do a 2-tank combo, you need to have at least one that can put out the damage, and neither of them do enough damage to justify it. So that's my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you need Sergeant Hammer in this comp.
We'll see this week, dude.
We'll see this week. We'll see if we can find a team.
We'll see after the Sergeant Hammer patch.
right, exactly. Once Sergeant Hammer gets buffed.
Balanced.
You're absolutely right. All right. Well, now we're going to go into our next regular segment. Aaron.
Map stats.
Thank you very much. This week we're talking about Cursed Hollow. Cursed Hollow is one of my favorite maps in this game.
Yeah, I agree. It's balanced.
It's a lot of fun.
When the game first came out, that was kind of the one map where you could blatantly ignore the objectives entirely and just kill everyone.
Yeah.
And that was the game.
Yeah.
And it was still really fun.
Well, and that is what makes it fun to me. It's like the objectives are just in such places that provide interesting team fights. They're usually in somewhat of a tight corridor of some kind, so people with AoEs get huge in those.
Let's break down the stats on this.
Yeah, the important timer things to consider. First one being that the first tribute spawns at 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
So at 2 minutes and 20 seconds, you need to be telling your team in 10 seconds the tribute's up.
Yeah, it's like, so be getting ready for it. Of course, tributes spawn at completely random spots. There's no logic, rhyme, or reason to where they spawn outside of the fact that no 2 tributes can spawn in the same place in a row.
And it's worth mentioning, after a team achieves a curse, the next tribute is delayed.
No, your respawn is delayed, is what you're thinking.
Oh, the tribute respawn.
No, your respawn. Your own individual respawn. Respawns are, or maybe it's...
No, it's the tribute
You're
respawn.
right, you're right. I wrote this down wrong. The tribute respawn. The respawns, of a tribute coming back up, and I do apologize for that. I misread it. Varies from 50 seconds to 1 minute and 40 seconds. So, it's like there's really no timers you can lay out in chat in order to discuss, when to get ready for it. You never know where something's going to spawn. It's just, I love the chaos that ensues with these tributes. It just makes things so much more exciting.
That's that's the beauty of the game. Of this map especially. Right. Is the randomness.
The randomness,
Agreed.
Absolutely.
The best situation is when you're finally got ahead and you're fighting boss And then the tribute spawns 5 feet away, and you're like, all right, well, I guess we'll take it.
And then it gives you a curse at the exact same time.
Oh.
I love it when that happens.
Now,
speaking of
a
curses,
really good team coordinates that.
Yeah. Oh well,
No.
if you can, track the timers.
That's tricky though.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
Because the randomness.
It is
dude.
hard, but it's doable.
It's happened for sure.
I mean, if you're thinking, it's like, it's been about a minute since, the last tribute, and we're on our second one. Let's go knock down boss real quick.
Yeah, are you guys at the point in your gameplay where you get that pit in the bottom of your stomach where you're just like, oh my
Where's
God.
the enemy team?
No, it's like, where? It's been a long time since a tribute pop.
Right.
Like, where the hell is it?
The important thing to note with curses, they last 1 minute and 8 seconds. Why 8 seconds?
Well, that's a buffer, dude. That's a buffer for you to get in lane, to start doing some damage on some towers, Don't waste that curse. It's pretty important. You have huge opportunities to do huge amounts of damage to the other team, and get a huge level advantage,
Right.
which is more important, arguably.
Well, and nothing drives me up the wall quite like your team gets a curse, and then what do your teammates do?
Go get camps.
Go get camps.
No.
Don't do that. Like, the entire point of a curse is for you to push down, because there is not a single camp in the game that'll push a tower faster than you as a character in the game, except maybe boss, but even then, it's not worth it.
That's something you should have done before the third tribute.
Right.
Do camps despawn during a curse?
Nope.
They do not.
It's the only map where the objective is active, where the camps do not despawn.
Because that's a time that you can use them at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And that they can see that other other low skilled players might do that, and that they can learn and adapt.
Yeah, exactly. Because like Bentley said, it's the only map where it doesn't give you an advantage to do camps during the curse. Because the curse lasts a minute, essentially.
That's not long.
By the time you're finished curling the camp, it's 40 seconds is left, and then the camp has to walk to lane. That's another 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then they finally get to a tower, and there's 10 seconds left, and then it's done.
And then they die because they're overextended.
And then they're there because they're overextended. Exactly. So keep that in mind, guys out there. Do not go for camps. Push a lane. It's okay. It doesn't matter if you all three split. Your entire team splits up and push 3 different lanes. It doesn't matter if you're all in one lane together. Just get some damage down on those objectives, because the amount of experience that killing not only forts but towers gives you is incredible benefit to your team.
And then tell your team while you're killing it, hey, after this we're getting their siege camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or after a curse, just get boss, because the other team is trying to push out their lanes.
Right. They're trying to recover from having curse on them or whatever. So I know we didn't quite prepare this because I totally forgot to bring it up. But what's your kind of dream team here? Who are your Aaron? If you could pick 5 characters to bring into Cursed Hollow, who would it be?
First of all, I would probably have Murky.
Interesting.
Just because I am a firm believer that Murky is really strong on Cursed Hollow, because you put the egg near the tribute, and then you continue to just destroy people, or fend people off of the curse long enough for the rest of your team to get there again. So it's really it can save you in a sticky situation. I would put Pick Stitches as my side tank, and then probably Uther as my support. That way I have a little bit of a tankier front line. I like to have a Nova, and then maybe a Zagara or something with some range.
Okay.
That can, really good at getting people off the tribute.
All right. Yeah, because I was about to ask if you want to throw another tank in there to, complement Stitches, then it's like, well, you're kind of lacking damage. But
I mean, Uther.
I can see you using Uther as a tank, absolutely. Bentley, what are your dream 5?
This is going to be kind of interesting. I would go with your route here.
Okay.
Dual warriors.
Yes.
Okay. I would honestly, looking at it now, either a new Barako Johanna or Murden instead of one of those two.
Okay.
Because Murden can, stun, and he can jump around,
right.
and he can, and what's important on Cursed Hollow is, spent wasting time for the other team or for your team to get back. Do you know what I mean?
You're right.
Yeah. For a specialist, Zagara or Sylvanas, because her ult, dude, her wailing arrow is great. That long range, it's amazing. And then a Tassadar,
Okay.
And I think you'll have something to say about that too.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
And I think I need one more. Nova, of course, Nova.
Okay.
Yep.
Me and Bentley are kind of stuck on a Nova
Spree.
We love the Nova build that I talked about a couple episodes ago.
Okay, fair enough. All right, here's my team. This is my dream team. I would do Tyrell. I would do Tassadar.
Just so you know, it's Tyrael.
Whatever.
I've just been going along with it.
Yeah. Okay, so Tyrael,
Yep.
Tassadar, Rhaegar. I would do not Nova, Jaina.
Ooh, okay.
And I would do KT.
Wow.
I think, yeah. I don't think you need a true tank on this map. I think you're perfectly fine using a bruiser, because a lot of the fighting will happen once the curse happens. And so if you're able to get the curse and then you have those 5 on your team, that's a lot of damage you can use to push incredibly fast. A good Rhaegar can keep a good Tyrael alive, especially after level 10 with Ancestral Healing. As well as the fact that Tassadar, just being able to throw down those pools, being able to get into tough places, it's a great complement to Rhaegar, and it'll allow you to, again, have additional survivability on Tyrael. And then, of course, KT and Nova are the 2 best assassins in the game currently, in my opinion, and why not have them?
Oh, I would say Jaina and Nova.
I mean, sorry, yeah, that's what I meant to say. Jaina and KT, so...
Well, and Tassadar's vision.
Is that what I said? I don't even remember now.
His
you
trait.
You had both mages on there.
Yeah, I think both mages are the best assassins in the game, personally, so... I know you disagree.
Dude, whoa
and
there.
of course, if I was playing either of them, they'd be the worst assassins in the game. But I love seeing a good Jaina. I love seeing a good KT on my team. So that'd be my pick. That'd be my dream team. I mean, agree with it if you do or not.
So let's rehash those important stats one more time.
Okay, just real quick. First tribute spawns at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so be prepared. Don't run anywhere. Be prepared, because you don't know where it's going to spawn. The curse lasts for 1 minute and 8 seconds, and respawns of the tributes vary from 50 seconds to 1 minute and 40 seconds. Like Aaron said, and I was mistaken about this, the respawn of the tribute is delayed after a curse. That way there's not a tribute popping up in the middle of a curse. You don't want that happening.
Yeah.
So, there you go. If you have any opinions about our dream teams or anything like that, let us know. If we think we messed up any of, the meta of the map, let us know too.
Yeah, if there's a hero we forgot, dude, just let us know, and we'll acknowledge.
It is time to watch us climb.
All right. Well, first let's go through the ranks real quick, because, I just want to gloat.
Oh,
but,
of course.
Bentley, where are you at?
So, actually, with the recent game that I just played with Aaron, I went up, 3 or 2 levels. Yeah, dude.
Very nice.
I think I'm now at, 34, 35.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm at 21.
All right. I made it into the teens.
Hey, you did it!
I'm so proud of it. I know it's only, rank 19. It's like the equivalent of being Diamond in, League of Legends or something like that.
I'm proud of you.
But,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'll take it. It's one more step closer to reaching that rank 1 and eventually being on a, MLG team and winning that $12,000 prize money. That's going to happen. Me and Zuna, we're going to become best buddies. We're going to play together. It's going to be wonderful. I can't wait.
You mean he can apply to be on our team?
Oh,
Yeah,
there you
dude.
go. There you go.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
he
join the Nice
can
Guys
be a part of the Nice Guys Network.
If he qualifies.
All right, so the game we're going to talk about and watch us climb is one I did not participate in. So I'm going to let you guys take over here.
All right, so we were on Battlefield of Eternity. I was playing Uther.
And I was playing Zagara.
And then we also had Jaina, Nova, and Muradin on our team. So we were pretty balanced. We had the high damage Jaina, Nova, my top 2 picks for assassins. We were against Stitches, Muradin, Zeratul, Sylvanas, and Vala. So a lot of sustained damage, but they didn't last very long at all.
And even Billy said that he can already see that just the 1 Stitches on the other team was not enough for a tank for them to, get a victory. Especially on this map, too, where there's always a team fight happening, in every... stay tuned for another map stats of Battlefield of Eternity, but...
It's easy in this map to get really spread out.
Yeah.
And it seemed like this team was always spread out, because one of them would always somehow wander into the 5 of us.
And the amazing thing with my creep tumors is that we were able to spot them if they were, out of position.
That's how you know a good Zagara.
Dude, if
when you can see the whole map.
Exactly. If the whole map is just covered in that creep, that beautiful moving creep, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, you did really good. So we focused on the objectives. We got probably half of them. What do you think set this game apart?
Honestly,
we were 17 when they were 14.
well, you know what was amazing right when the game started is Jaina just, all caps, told us what to do. She said, don't attack theirs, defend ours, kill their heroes, and then we'll go kill their immortal. And that, we just didn't even argue. We followed her lead, and that's basically how we won, dude.
Yeah, that's a good point. We really, communication is key, and everybody doing the same thing, regardless what the call is.
Exactly.
And so just having that unified voice, don't be afraid to be the nerdy guy that talks.
Yeah, well, and I mean, you know, like I was saying earlier, and I'll always say this ever, it's always better for all 5 people to follow a bad call than half of your team ignore it.
Yes.
I mean, even if it's a bad call, if you all work together at it, there's still a chance it could turn into a good call, because, you know, sometimes stupid calls are the most unpredictable thing ever, and if the enemy team doesn't predict it, you can win.
If
just
there's
off of
just
that.
teamwork, dude, just teamwork.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Real quickly, what I want to ask you guys, though, just, you know, sentence or less, if you will, camps on Battlefield of Eternity, how important do you find them?
You know, we got them in between Immortals, and while the whole team was down, we would just get camps. It helped push, but honestly, I could see us not getting a whole camp and we would have still won.
I think that they're really strong.
I think individually they're strong, but I agree with Bentley. I think you can go a whole game without touching a single camp and you can still easily win. Whereas other maps, they just help you out so much.
But they do have a buff versus other camps on the other maps.
That's true. Yeah,
So,
they are completely different. So
there's
it'll be
incentives to
interesting.
get 'em.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go. The last thing I want to talk about, you know, in our last 4 minutes here, real quick though, is MMR. And this is something that's been grinding my gears lately. The amount of points I get after a win varies so much in every game, and I'm just trying to figure out why. So after one game where, you know, usually I get about 100, 120, 150 even, but one game I only got 70. And what really made me mad about it is it was a game that's like, okay, if we win this, I'm going to hit level 19. And then we won it, and I was just short of hitting 19.
I've been 1 point away.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that drives me incredibly mad. And so it's like, okay, well, you know, I won my next game. It's like, all right, cool, I got to level 19, but it's like it took me one extra game because I only got 70 points. It was a game I was playing with Aaron, and I was level 20. Aaron was level, 22 or 21 at the time. I think we were playing with Colin, who is he 37? Is that right?
Something like that.
Yeah, he's somewhere around there. So it's something respectable, certainly not bad, but he definitely plays above that level. And what blew my mind was what we were playing against. Not a single person was above rank 30, and they had 3 people that were 40 or less.
Wow.
And so I only got 70 points for a win.
And then there's those times when we have like 4 level 40s and a rank 1.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, it's just crazy. It's like it seems to be no consistency in the balancing of these matches, because there's no reason whatsoever that me and Aaron, at upper 20s should ever play against level 40s, even if we're paired with somebody who's ranked 37. At that point, you match us against all level 30s.
So my understanding is that it's to increase the speed of the matchmaking. You can get matched against people lower or higher.
Yeah.
And so if you play against people at a higher level, you're going to get more points.
If you win.
You
win. Don't lose as many points.
If you lose, you're going to lose. Right, you're going to lose less. But if you lose to people who are far lower level than you,
you're going to lose
more. Which is, you're completely justified. It's completely wrong because pros start at level 50.
Yeah.
So you could be playing against, Expeke, and he's rank 50.
Yeah.
But really, he's rank 1.
Well, my issue with it is, like, I don't mind. I love winning a game. I don't want to win a game against people who are half my skill. And so, just having to face against that, it really, kind of grinds my gears. I don't mind playing against people way higher than me because that helps me learn. It's just playing against people who are lower. That game lasted, 15 minutes because of how hard we spanked them. Aaron was playing Nova. I was playing Taronde. We just ran a train on them because of, how well we were able to play against them and the champions we were playing. And it just wasn't fair to me because I didn't get as many points out of it. I didn't have as fun because it was just so easy. And then it was unfair to the other team because they got smashed, and nobody likes losing a game that badly. So I mean, I don't know if it's just because of a low player pool or whatever reasons, but I really hope Blizzard figures out a way to, kind of help this out.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's it for us.
That's it.
That's it.
Episode 12.
Wow.
Awesome.
12.
Bentley, take us out.
Thanks for listening to Podcast Heroes, where we podcast about heroes.